Alright, so we've got 4-color Pyromancer Arclight Phoenix Loam deck. It's basically a Jund deck with a small splash for Lingering Souls. Obviously, we're going to be dredging into that or potentially discarding it to Faithless Looting a lot of the time.
It has all of my favorite cards.
It does have a lot of good cards in it, and Life from the Loam, of course.
Yeah, this is like my favorite card of all time.
One thing, glancing at this list, that I'm concerned about to start is that we have Fatal Push instead of Lightning Bolt, so we're going to see how that goes. While Fatal Push is obviously like the more powerful removal spell for killing larger creatures, the fact that we can't play it proactively to trigger Pyromancer or Arclight Phoenix seems like a concern. And like we have Assassin's Trophy for more powerful targeted removal, so let's jump into some games. One of the things that I want to be thinking about when I'm playing through these matches today is how often is Fatal Push, would it have been better as Lightning Bolt or vice versa? You did see that we have a new sponsor today! Exclamation point Neo, NEOH. Protein bars. They're quite good. I've been eating them all weekend. They sent me I always try products before I take them on as advertiser, so they sent me a box of them. So I've actually been eating them most of the weekend because they were a good travel thing to bring with. Hey Robert, hope you're feeling better. Thanks for tuning in. Are you on the jump ship or buy-in option for Magic Online? Magic Online, even if Magic Online was somehow going to be replaced by Magic Arena, it's not going to be for a very long time. Like, the people that think you can get, like, Modern and Legacy into Arena in, like, the next 2 months or even a year or two are, like, pretty unrealistic. So if you're interested in playing Modern or Legacy, Magic Online is the way you're going to be doing that for the foreseeable future. Hey, Arcdeacon. Used to be a little bit of a Jeff hater. Your constant, solid, fun content has been a game changer, and I love being part of Hoaglandia. Thanks for the 2 months. Welcome back, Deacon. It's definitely been a different mindset, changing to focusing on playing Magic more for fun than trying to be competitive, and I definitely find myself personally enjoying Magic more, focusing. Weird, right? Like, games are more enjoyable when I play them for fun. Is there something up with the audio? Well, I'm using a different microphone than I normally use. So I have a cheaper headset mic rather than my normal Blue Yeti microphone. So the quality is almost certainly notably lower or worse. It didn't seem like the videos I recorded yesterday used this headset. It didn't seem like it was too terrible. Hey, Kamalo, thanks for the brand new Prime sub. Welcome, I appreciate that. Oh, good, my dashboard is updating. Alright, what does this hand do? It seems fine. Hey, Borakan, thanks for the 4-month resub there. Welcome back. I might miss some notifications today. So, it's a lot different setup than normal. A lot going on. I keep this. I don't like to play Magic competitively because I'm not that good. Me too. I'm really terrible. Welcome back from SCGCon. I'm actually still SCGCon adjacent. I am currently in Ross Merriam's living room. How deep is the snow? It's not too bad. They've cleared a lot of the roads here. So, snow-covered mountain on 1 probably means I need to think about Blood Moon. I'm going to start on this Faithless Looting. See where we go from there. Inquisition's a pretty good pickup because it's going to give me a tool to potentially pick a Blood Moon out of their hand, assuming we don't get Blood Moon next turn. I think I'm going to ditch Fatal Push and the other looting here. Hopefully pick up a land here at some point. What's going on, Nivik? Oh, I wonder if Stream Decker's loaded. That's a good question. I need to, you're going to have to see ads for a hot second here while I go into my dashboard. Stream Decker was not loaded. Let me load it up. Thank you for the heads up. I forgot to check that. All right. Sorry about that. Stream Decker should be good to go now. You might need to refresh for Stream Decker to come up, but it's loaded now. Perfect. Another discard spells. So let's lead on Inquisition. Morning, Rycat. Alright, so they have the Blood Moon. They have Chandra Flamecaller and Stormbreath Dragon. So this is definitely taking Blood Moon, right? And the question is, what is this Thoughtseize doing after that? So they have Flamecaller and Stormbreath Dragon. So I'm definitely Thoughtseizing here. The question is, do I want to Thoughtseize off of a basic Swamp, or do I want to Thoughtseize off of an Overgrown Tomb? Obviously, the Overgrown Tomb is much worse if they rip another Blood Moon off the top, but like the upside to having Overgrown Tomb is if I draw a copy of Life from the Loam, I can cast it to like get my third land drop going that way. So I think I'm going to get Overgrown Tomb. It hurts a little bit. I'm going to 13. It also lets me like cast this Assassin's Trophy, which is nice. I'm going to take the Stormbreath Dragon here, I think, because the Chandra hits us for 6, but it's more expensive. So I think that's fine. The decks listed in my dashboard are listed in the order we're going to be playing them. So we're going to be playing this deck, followed by Blue-Red Phoenix, followed by Fairies. So I know they have Skred, so I'm going to go ahead and Inquisition before I play this Pyromancer, because I'd rather the Pyromancer not just die. Now, I'm using a different microphone than normal. I didn't bring all of my nice recording equipment with me. I'm still in Roanoke, Virginia. Rycat, thanks for the 21 months. It's kind of insane. Keep doing what you do. Put this towards Apex of Power. Will do, Rycat. Thanks for the support. Rycat, can you drop me a private message on Discord or somewhere letting me know to bump that? Because I don't really have a good place to note that stuff down midstream today. Red for life, thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back. I disagree with what you're saying. I want my timeout. Could someone time Red out for me? I'm just going to go ahead and stick Dr. Pyromancer here. It could just die, but they would have had to rip that off the top. I want to get some pressure going before they get Chandra down. Yeah, they drew Bolt. They missed a land drop, so like we knew they drew a spell there.
Pyromancer must be really smart if he's a doctor at such a young age.
He is, yep. So this is kind of awkward for us. So the Planeswalker rule means that they can play both Chandras, and this Assassin's Trophy like ramps them into the other Chandra, but like they're guaranteed to get to the next one if I leave this in play, so I might as well do this. So we'll go ahead and pass back here. This Verdant Catacombs is probably going to fetch basic lands for us. Yeah, so this actually, like, isn't terrible for us. So at this point, like, they're hitting us to 5, so we're going low. But I get to just clear the Chandra with our second trophy, which is nice. I've dropped a small amount of frames, but it seems relatively stable. Tannen wants you to know that he misses you.
Miss you too, Tannen.
So we're going to 5, but we're at a virtual 4 because we have a fetch land here. Go ahead and just do this now. And then, like, we're, like, super dead to a Stormbreath Dragon or their Planeswalker off the top, so I have to hope that they brick off for a hot second here. Hopefully the second wave that's hitting NC now is missing Roanoke. Yeah, it's pretty clear here. It's supposed to stay clear through tomorrow. It's supposed to get cold again tonight, so hopefully the roads don't ice up too bad. I don't know how they handle and treat that here. My flight's supposed to be out early tomorrow morning. Thanks for the 5 months, Josh. How do you feel about Skred as a deck? I think Skred is just like one of the many decks in Modern that's like not particularly interactive and not particularly quick, so it just like comes up short in a lot of places. Just like hopes that Blood Moon is enough to steal enough games to be relatively decent. Not necessarily. So, like, you can Storm Trophy the Stormbit Dragon before it deals damage, but, like, the Stormbit Dragon comes down sooner, whereas, like, there was a chance the Flamecaller, like, was something that they didn't hit on curve. So, like, because they ended up hitting it on curve, it, like, felt bad for us from, like, an emotional perspective, but I think it was fine to just leave it like that. Yeah, my fetch land sequencing here is a little bit bad. I probably should have waited to fetch. I thought I was going to play the Tireless Tracker, but looking at my hand again here, I think I'd actually rather Faithless Looting this turn to try and dig a little bit deeper, because I drew the Lingering Soul, so I get to ditch that, and then, like, flash it back. And then I think I'm going to hold... Am I going to hold this land? So if I'm definitely flashing this back, the question is, do I want to hold the land to make a clue with Tireless Tracker? Make the clue. Yeah, I think we're supposed to make the clue. I'm going to go ahead and pass back. So I'm just using, like, my built-in laptop webcam, so there is a Ross over here. He exists.
Hey. I finished making my breakfast, so I'm back. Breakfast at 1 in the afternoon, a classic strategy.
I mean, breakfast is relative to the time in which you wake up, right?
Yes.
So, this is lethal, so obviously we have to block it. The awkward part about our land drop being a mountain next turn is that I can't play Tireless Tracker and hold up Fatal Push while making a clue, but we're probably just going to leave back another Spirit to jump block. Alright, well, that makes a couple of clues.
And leaves a Fatal Push.
Yeah. Dead to Lightning Bolt, but we're probably going to be in a position that we can't beat Lightning Bolt this game anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, like, again, OmniZ, like, talking about that kind of stuff is just, like, kind of pointless, right? Like, you shouldn't talk about things that you can't beat. Like, you can think about things and go, can I beat this? But, like, if you can't beat it, like, what's the point? It's like the be careful of the thing that you, like, don't have tools or, like, doesn't make sense to try and beat anyways, just, like, is a bad way to approach playing Magic, usually. Are we out of the Pirate deck plan now? Nah, I stumbled and died and flooded and died, and that's just, like, how Magic goes. In fact, I'm going to pull up my splash screen here again really quick and add a command for this weekend. That's something I should have done ahead of time. Alright, there's an event command. Alright, back to Magic. Maybe I'm supposed to keep my Spirit there. I don't know, like, I can save the Fatal Push for something else, but the flip side is there's probably not a lot else to Fatal Push in their deck. Maybe they have, like, a 4-mana dragon of some sort. Excellent. Excellent. That's a good start to the day. Everything is different, Nivik, because I'm not streaming from my home computer. I'm streaming from a laptop in Ross Merriam's living room. And I'm streaming on one screen instead of 3 screens. Yeah, that's actually true, Lizio. That's a good thing to point out. We want to talk about, like, when things are the push versus the bolt's irrelevant. If it would have been bolt, we could have cleared the Koth with it. It's like a really good thing to note. So, Ensnaring Bridge, Maelstrom Pulse, Abrupt Decay all seem much better than these Fatal Pushes. None of these other cards seem particularly good, so I'm going to go ahead and click Submit. Nearly used the opportunity to give you Bezo Bucks. What's going on, Cloud? Thanks for the 9 months. Welcome back. Yes, yeah, and it's like a 15-inch laptop screen instead of my 27-inch desktop screen. It's terrible. I do at least have the chat up on my tablet to my right, so I've got that going for me at least. I'm surprised to see the Tireless Tracker plus Ensnaring Bridge non-bow. Well, one, this is a viewer-submitted deck list, and two, believe it or not, drawing cards with your clues is optional, so it's not really a non-bow. It just, like, gives you decision points to, like, choose whether or not to take a game action. Is it worth keeping pushes to try and answer Goblin Rabblemaster? Maybe. I don't know. Like, I'm not cutting all my removal. Like, I have Bridge and I have Trophy and Decay. Streaming equipment is like going between Arena and Magic Online. You're not wrong. That is an apt comparison. Opponent taking their good sweet time. And for those of you that follow me only on Twitch and aren't maybe not subscribed to my YouTube channel, one, you should subscribe to my YouTube channel, and two, I uploaded 4 leagues yesterday with different Modern decks, so if you're interested in seeing some Hoagland YouTube exclusive content, that's over there now. This hand has a bunch of lands in it, but it's got, like, Discard Spell into Fetches and Trackers, so I'm going to go ahead and keep. Also worth noting that, like, access to these fetch lands means that we're going to have the ability to fetch around a Blood Moon, which is nice, so, like, from that perspective, it's also ideal. Is a Relic, a Mind Stone, and then Giant Scary Things. This hand doesn't really care about the Relic at the moment, so I'm going to go ahead and take the Mind Stone, because them getting to their 4-drop sooner seems pretty bad for us. Yeah, their hand is very good. That's like a pretty punishing draw here for us, because like now this is likely to miss unless they drew something that costs 3 or less, and like if I would have taken the Relic, I could have taken the Mind Stone this turn, so like feel pretty bad about that. Got punished for the decision that we made. Tell Ross the chat says hi and that he should stream. One of the things I'm going to help Ross with here is getting ideas set up for his stream. You are going to be streaming soon, right?
I am planning on it.
Look at that. He's planning on it. Well, the internet loves you and thinks that you should.
Thank you, internet.
And why would the internet lie to a person? What does it stand to gain?
Probably some of this good internet points I've heard so much about.
So, I could play Tireless Tracker here, and then have it die to, like, a Bolt or a Scred. I think I'm just going to pass and guaranteed get my clues in. What's going on, Fedged? Today Bird Day or something. Well, this deck list was at the top of the queue, and then I bumped the other one up to be after it since Ross is here, and it's his deck list from Baltimore. Seemed convenient. I was close to the top anyways. Alright, so getting to use the fetch land off of Urborg to like cast the tracker before you crack the fetch land is great. So I get to go ahead and put tracker into play here. And then we get to play this Verdant Catacombs out and make a clue. And then remember, unless you need to use the mana right away after you play your fetch land with the tracker in play, you don't want to crack the fetch land right away, because this way, if the opponent has a removal spell and they point it at our tracker, we're able to crack the fetch land in response to the removal spell, netting a clue. Whereas if we fetch proactively and they have a removal spell, they're going to kill it in response to the fetch and deny us that second clue. If they had Stone Fortress Stick, we'd be dead. Very real possibility. Yeah, the Blue-Red Phoenix that kind of took off. I was farming some data from the different events for my article this week, talking about some modern stuff, and the Phoenix deck was the most represented archetype from the 3 tournaments that happened this weekend in Modern.
Great.
You are great. You cracked it in half. That's another relics. They have Chandra Flamecaller, Koth, Stormbreath Dragon. This is just like, yeah, just this matchup's probably pretty impossible for our deck. We're just like trying to do like this mopey mid-range stuff, and like our opponent's deck is just like designed to beat up mid-range things. Darabar, thanks for the 4 months. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Thanks, Woodpecker Painting. Let's crack this to start, see where we go. I might just leave only the tracker in play here. I'm going to cast the Faithless Looting, maybe encourage them to pop the Relic of Progenitus. I think the Ensnaring Bridge isn't really going anywhere fast. I'm going to bin the Ravenscrime as well. I'm going to hold on to the Arclight Phoenix. That card does just have a casting cost, so we can like play that as a 3-2 haster. Hey, Craigo, my ego. I have finals this week, so take my money before I die. Well, don't die. Thank you for the 7 months, the tier 3 at that. Welcome back. Remember to drop a submission through the forum if you have a deck you'd like to see, or drop me a message in private if there's a deck already in the queue you'd like to move up. Ace Faithless, thanks for the 6 months. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way again this month. Welcome back. I was on camera at the Invitational round 2. I mulliganed to 5 and didn't play a land on 1, and then my opponent played Grafdigger's Cage into Kalitas, and I died to Blaze. It was a good time, really. We played Modern. Alright, so what am I doing here? So I think I want to use... I think I want to just ship the Arclight Phoenix into their Chandra Torch of Defiance. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and Ravenscrime them from the graveyard. And I want to Ravenscrime before I play the Arclight Phoenix, because when they make a decision to discard a card from their hand, I don't want them to know that they are going to lose this Chandra. So, like, if they know they lose this Chandra, it could impact their decision on what they discard here. Halfway to the sword, Dougie Adams, thanks for the 6-month tier 2 resub. Welcome back. Be sure to drop me a line in private. Let me know which deck in the queue you'd like to bump up for that. Thanks for that extra support there. So I don't really want to go in on my Young Pyromancers and stuff like that just yet, because my opponent has Chandra Flamecaller in their hand. They just have like 3 bombs in their hand. They have Koth, Stormbreath Dragon, Chandra Flamecaller. So yeah, actually, it's gonna move along with our lives. Just like don't really have tools to pound through all of these. This is like a good lesson to be had if you're trying to be like mid-range and greedy. There's always somebody mid-rangier and greedier than you are. Can you say hi to Ross for me? I was his round 1 opponent from SCG Vegas. Thanks for the biddies, Nick. Faithless Looting did nothing wrong. I was farming a bunch of comparative data from the events this weekend, and believe it or not, Faithless Looting and Ancient Stirrings were present in almost 60% of the top finishing decks on the weekend. Yay, Modern! Greetings from an avid consumer of the YouTube content. Really enjoyed the videos that you posted yesterday. Thanks for dropping in and giving me that Twitch Prime zigzags. I appreciate that. Yeah, the YouTube exclusive stuff that I put up yesterday has pretty much had nothing but glowing feedback. So I think even when I am in the comfort of my own home, I'm going to be trying to coordinate. Am I on the play? I'm on the play, so this doesn't matter where that goes. I think I'm going to try and coordinate doing a little bit of YouTube exclusive here and there. DayMGG, thanks for the 2 months. Welcome back. If Money, thanks for the 11 months. Welcome back. I feel like at this point, Stirrings is not getting banned. Do you agree? I mean, that's what we all thought about Splinter Twin too, right? Like, Splinter Twin had been legal for forever, and we're just like, they can't touch this card. And I, like, punched us in the throat and pulled it out from underneath us. This looks like Bridgevine, I think. Hangerback Walker implies Bridgevine. It's been a hot second since I've seen this one. I am not at home. I mean, I don't even necessarily think they need to ban cards like Faithless Looting and Ancient Stirrings, but I wish if they would they're going to leave these cards legal, if they would unban some of the other toys that exist in the format. Like, basically, like, poop or get off the pot, like, pick whether or not you want the format to be degenerate and, like, have these things in it, and then, like, give us the other degenerate things back and the things that are less degenerate than them, or, like, actually manage the format. KCI was the second most represented deck this past weekend after Blue-Red Phoenix. Just like mono decks that kill people on turn 3. Bridge from Below is a pretty good draw. No, the Pro Tours aren't Magic Fest. Magic Fest are the Grand Prix. The Pro Tours have been rebranded to Mythic Championships. Geez, get your Magic vernacular right, people. Gotta focus, okay? The zombies are here because my opponent has a copy of Bridge from Below in their discard pile. They've been that with their Insolent Neonate. So they have Dark Blast in their hand. It's just like, can I ever beat a copy of Dark Blast? It's like, probably not. Hey, Fuzzy Thantos, thanks for the 6 months. Welcome back. Pick these up. Another fun metric that I'll be talking about in my article on Wednesday is that 66% of the decks that were played this past weekend, 2 top finishes in the 3 different tournaments that we had in Modern, could kill people by turn 3. Like, either had turn 2 or turn 3 kills. Our FNM is going to be renamed to the Common Championship. I don't know, but I feel like they should now that you've said it. Definitely sounds like something that should happen. We're just, like, never beating this, right? You just, like, bring in a couple of surgical attractions and, like, hope for the best. Believe it or not, I think our deck is too clunky and fair for Modern. I'm going to bring in these bridges. Raven's Crime is really bad here. And, like, if Crime's bad, this Arclight package probably isn't good enough, especially with the bridges that are coming in, too. So I guess just, like, leave in a Sweeper and some spot removal. Is Collective Brutality fine? Maybe it can gain me some life. Try this. They have bridges. It's the bridge mirror. It's the bridge mirror match, right? There's a line where you play Pyro on turn 2 and they Dark Blast it to kill their own bridge. Yeah, maybe. I mean, like, they still have a bunch of stuff in play that I'm just, like, not beating at that point. You're correct that was a line that we could take, but, like, how does that actually allow us to win the game? Remember, like, today is mono. I believe we can't beat this deck. To start, probably, this first deck's really clunky and slow. The next deck we're playing today is the Blue-Red Arclight deck, which is one of the best performing decks this weekend. Just, like, very, very powerful and linear. Hey, Bulletproof, what's going on? Thanks for the 22 months. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome to everybody. Hope everyone's having a good Monday. I don't know if I'm going to stream for a super long time today, but I think we're going to do at least 2 leagues, maybe 3. You don't like the Dobby Decay? The Dobby Abrupt Decay is wonderful. I'd like to cast Faithless Looting. Look at that. We hit the Black Source. That sounds fantastic. So I'm going to ban Lingering Souls for sure here. And then I think just a Fatal Push. Fetch a basic Swamp and Inquisition here. Hey, Ziggurat, thanks for the 7 months. And On-Set Nonsense, thanks for the third of a year there. Welcome back. I agree, Foxicon. And like, as someone who's played Modern for a long time, Modern hasn't always had the critical mass of turn 3 decks that it has right now. That is a more recent phenomenon to the format. And I agree, as someone who like enjoys playing like interactive and engaging games of Magic, it's not enjoyable. Zeram, thanks for the entire year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I mean, it's not anything new. That person did well with that deck at a previous Grand Prix. That person's like much better at Magic than me and, you know, most people in chat, so like they could probably win with whatever they want. What's going on, City? Thanks for the 2-month resub. Welcome back. And Brian Rust with the brand new Prime support. Welcome, welcome. If Modern banned fetch lands, would it just be full of Tron and Skeletons? It's such a stupid question, Ma Wutad. Like, what are you accomplishing by doing that? Like, what's the purpose? Are we just like closing our eyes and banning things at random? Like, what if we banned creature lands? What would Modern look like? Like, why is that even a question worth asking? So I'm going to Fatal Push this before I play the Pyromancer here. Well, they were auto-passing, so they missed a point, because I don't want them to kill the Pyromancer in response, obviously. Well, then sorry to direct that at you. That goes to the other person. If your idea is we should ban things like that, I think that's just some hot nonsense. All right, let's make 3 tokens here, and then like maybe we can get our block on and like actually end up being okay here. Look at me, I'm the DC high. Yep, that is effectively how that works. Just ban Wild Nakano. Listen, that card's been on and off the Modern ban list. Everybody knows that card's the real problem with this format. Wild Nakano is too strong. This is a pretty easy block, I think, here. Like, even if they have a zombie, we can just, like, make more tokens pretty quickly. I would have Faithless Looting in my hand here. They have Bushwhacker plus 1 card we don't know at the moment. What's going on, Lepis? I don't think Creeping Chill should have been printed. I think Creeping Chill is a great example of, like, the arguments that people make about cards limiting format design just being nonsense. Like, nobody looks at Faithless Looting and says, we have to ban Faithless Looting because it limits graveyard design space, but there's a ton of people who will tell you, well, you can't unban Stoneforge Mystic and you can't unban Birthing Pod because those cards limit design space. So it's like, well, why do those cards get banned because they limit design space, but other things that do basically the same thing stay legal? So this makes a 1/1 and it draws me a land. That's nice. So definitely going to do that here. Ordered 70% of Amulet Titan in foil, so let's cross our fingers that it stays legal. I don't think they're ever going to ban key parts of Amulet Titan again, and honestly, like, even if Stirrings, like, eats the axe that it should eat at some point, I think that deck will still be fine. I think it's probably a bit too dirtily Destruminator. We'll see. It's early. It's only the second match, but we're only really in this game because our opponent's deck just like mulligan to 5 and isn't doing a whole lot. the Bridgevine deck's like one of those like high variance modern decks, right? Where like sometimes it just beats itself, and that was kind of what happened this game, it felt like. Yes, yeah, this client is much worse than Arena. You are not wrong. Fortunately, it is the only option for modern stuff. Ross is here with me.
Right here.
I would angle the webcam in a better direction, but unfortunately, it is mounted to my laptop. I think this is fine. I keep this. Do you like the changes Wizards is making with the esports stuff? I cannot believe that there are people who are Magic adjacent that are upset with Wizards putting more money into their game. Just like anybody who's remotely close to Magic should understand that like Wizards pumping more money into events is like a good thing for them. Like it's good for people that want to play the events, it's good for content creators. I understand some frustration from people that like have existing like silver, gold, and platinum pro status and like they haven't laid out all the details. Like they've done the very WotC thing of like they've posted a half announcement without filling in all the blanks. But hopefully when they fill in the blanks, it'll be reasonable for those people too. But like in the long run, like people who are good at Magic events, they're gonna be playing in WotC level events. Like more money is good for them too.
End up being good for SCG too.
Yeah.
It displaces people away from what was previously the Grand Prix Pro Tour circuit that had space for lower level pros that were consistently in silver, occasionally gold.
Yep.
Those people might move over to the SCG tour.
And honestly, like, so SCG and Wizards have like different goals, right? So like SCG circuit is to promote paper Magic to a degree, whereas Wizards just wants to promote Magic in general. So I think this move to digital is going to move more and more to digital for Wizards of the Coast as time goes on, which pushes people that want to play paper specifically more towards SCG.
Agreed.
I would be very surprised. So like this next year, they said they're investing more into paper Magic along with investing into digital. But I would be very surprised if 2 years from now, if there's still the same level of support for paper and digital at the highest level from WotC, because the viewer numbers are like almost certainly going to be better for digital. I think it's just like so much easier to pick up, and like Arena being free to play as an option has like done something for Magic that was just like impossible for a long time, right? Like you had to be very invested to get into Magic, and Arena just makes the initial cost of investment actual zero. It's just like a little bit of your time. Did I change my microphone or my voice? I actually had a special operation to change my vocal cords. Elusive Dr. Bacon with the brand new Prime support. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here this month with that. Do you think bannings could inhibit deck creativity? For example, in other types of competitive environments, some people like to assume you could find other strategies to get around something that's too powerful. I don't know. I don't even see like what's the meaningful discussion of that. It doesn't seem like a particularly constructive or useful conversation to have. Admiral Vortex, thanks for the half a year. I appreciate the tier 3. I have several decks I'd like to get approved. Can I message you on Discord or should I wait till you can message me on Discord for sure. I'm not able to like log things midstream here today, but I'm on Discord. I live on Discord. Discord goes to my cell phone. So like when I'm not live, I'll be going through all of those. Ginger Cakes, thanks for the 17-month resub. Welcome back. I appreciate that. I changed my face and voice so I could finally get sponsored by WotC. The YouTube exclusive stuff was actually kind of nice. I have a list. Thought you might be willing to add to that list. Yeah, SCTR for sure. Drop me, if you have a new deck you'd like to add, submit it through the forum. The YouTube exclusive stuff went over just like incredibly well. I was really happy with the feedback on it. I also like well, as much as I like interacting with you all in chat, I think it's one of the better parts of what I get to do here in terms of like making engaging content. But there's definitely something to be said about like being able to just be focused on Magic while I'm playing, that recording stuff offline and then uploading it allows me to do that I otherwise wouldn't be able to do. So I think my wife created the Google form that people use to submit decks, so I think I'm going to be adding a selector on the Google form for people to say, I would prefer my deck to be played offline, or I don't have a preference. And I think I'm going to start doing somewhere between like 3 and 5 offline decks per week, just to like get a little bit of variety in the content too. Doing offline stuff also gives me a little bit of flexibility, because like yesterday was kind of nice, because like I worked for like 6 or 7 hours recording stuff, but like I was able to like work for 3 hours, take a break, have some lunch, and then go back. You are numero uno, SCTR. You are not wrong. Alright, so what I want to do, this could be one of the games where, like, young Pyromancer just, like, grinds out the Bridgevine deck on one of their more miserable draws. So their hand is Bridge from Below, Bloodstained Mire, and then one card I don't know, so I probably don't want to escalate Brutality using that mode. I have the Life from the Loam to give me a bunch of extra cards, though. So I think I'm actually going to just, like, double kill this Hangerback Walker and just start pressuring their health total here. Probably escalate the Brutality to drain them.
Escalate pitching the land, and then hold up the swamp, and then fatal push the first token you make to kill the bridge.
Well, they don't have a bridge in their bin yet.
Oh, that's their hand?
It's their hand, yep.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, their bin's over here.
I thought it was in the graveyard.
Otherwise, yeah, that would be...
Man, I was getting so excited.
Yeah, I was so excited. We could fatal push a stiff. Well, I can fatal push the Thopter token to, like, push through some damage a little bit, because the Gravecrawler can't block, so Young Pyromancer is going to make a lot of tokens pretty quickly.
Yeah, if they're that anemic, that you just rush them and they're decked up.
Is it still 100,000 to watch you play a recorded Lantern Control League? It's only 1,000 for one league with Lantern Control. And I'm sure there are plenty of people out there who would like give you a much cheaper rate on Lantern Control because they enjoy playing it, but I am not one of those people. So basically here I just need to make sure I don't die to this Greater Gargadon by mistake. And it's going to, what I assume is going to be 7 counters here and then 6. So just need to be conscious that this thing exists while I'm attacking with tokens here. Get to smack you for 2. What in the world does Tron want versus Death Shadow? In my experience, playing playing with a good deal of Tron, Relics and Thragtusk are 2 of your best cards against Death Shadow. And Thragtusk is especially good against them post-board because Death Shadow's counterspell of choice tends to be Ceremonious Rejection, so like having a threat that they can't rejection is a big deal. Tron lands are definitely good too. I like how they didn't attack with the Gravecrawler. They're just like waiting to put the bridge in their bin at some point. Neither of these things can block though. Good top decks are always Tron's best thing to have, right?
Ours is not the reason why, Jeff.
Just attack, yep. If people made decisions that made sense, we'd never win matches of Magic.
Not never, but a lot less.
A lot less, yep. Yeah, Wormcoil is good against Shadow too, obviously, but that one gets rejected, which is awkward. So the Surgical Extraction here actually means I get to put a lethal elemental into play at the end of their turn, which is nice. It's worth noting, too, that Gargadon explicitly lists permanent types that it can sacrifice, so, like, even if they draw a 3rd Black Sorcerer, they can't cast Bridge and sacrifice it, because it's an enchantment. The better question, should I bring in Goyf since I don't have Thragtusks? Oh, that's a good... I don't know if Goyf is good enough in that matchup. So the reason why Thragtusk is good is because it... So, if I Surgical, I put a lethal elemental on the board, but it just forces them to cast the Gargadon. But if I force them to cast the Gargadon, I can then Maelstrom Pulse the Gargadon away, which probably means I win the game. Anything meaningful in here? Not really.
Probably want to take Neonate. It's the card that lets him get Bridge in the yard.
Yeah, that or Walking Ballista, because it shoots a couple of my things. They're already through 2 Neonates, so it's probably Walking Ballista. It's pretty marginal, regardless.
Yeah, Ballista's a strong choice, too.
It also lets us take a peekaboo at their hand and see exactly what they have going on. They brought in Late Line of the Void, sure. And Ancient Grudge, alright.
Unsurprisingly, they have nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a real problem. I like the Bridgevine deck a little bit, but it just, like, fell into that, like, alright, this is a modern deck, it, like, does its thing and, like, is absurd, or just, like, does nothing and dies. What's going on, Lone Wolf?
Well, we covered half that Ancient Grudge.
We do. I guess I technically should have played this pre-combat, because I would have made an elemental with it. Because they're gonna sack 3 things here and put the Gargadon and eat my Young Pyromancer. Goyf can sometimes beat Angler out of Tron. Like, you have artifacts, and they're gonna put instants in your bid. I think the Goyfs are fine in the Tron sideboard. We played those, they were, like, really good against Burn. It was, like, unlike Thragtusk, which, like, gains you life after the fact, like, Goyf just comes on and makes it so you don't take hits early. I am streaming from VA today. I'm on my laptop, on a headset that I bought from Big Lots on Saturday evening in Ross Merriam's apartment. So they're going to go to 1 here. What do I think will happen to Magic Online? It will continue to exist for the foreseeable future to allow people to play non-rotating formats of Magic, which are, like, relatively popular. And honestly, I would be very surprised if Modern, Legacy, and these other formats ever came to Magic Arena. And I think as long as there is a demand from people, and, like, as long as this application keeps making money, Wizards of the Coast has no reason to shut it down. Tell Ross he's a champ. He knows he's a champ. He's got trophies to remind him that he's a champ.
Yeah.
Ross isn't like me and Tannen. He wins things.
Jeff can literally see them.
I'm going to flip this around and show them your case. Ross knows he's a champion. He's got...
I see it every day.
I see it every day.
What?
I hope you rubbed Tannen's nose in that while he was here, right?
So, actually, what I did was, before he got here, he's already been here and he's seen this.
Okay.
I threw a sheet over it. So when he walked in, he'd be like, "Why do you have a sheet there?" I'd be like, I didn't really want to rub it in. Like, thought you might make you feel bad. It was good.
That's fantastic. I agree, Clacker, that over time that Modern will probably, in relation to the percentage of Magic players that play it, I think Modern will slowly get smaller just because, like, the percentage of Magic players are going to grow, especially with Arena, and a lot of the Arena players aren't necessarily going to translate to Modern like other Magic players do, but, like, the total raw number of Modern players probably isn't realistically going to change, right? So, like, while in relation to total Magic players, I'd expect it to go down, I think, like, the raw number that we have now is probably here to stay, right? Earthum, thank you for the brand new Prime support. Welcome. I hate everyone and everything. That's from Tannen.
Got a good song for you, Tannen. It's called "I Hate Everyone."
All right, well, we're on the scoreboard. Our opponent's deck decided not to work, and we got them. Yeah, I really just the more I look at this, I really think these Fatal Pushes should probably just be bolts. They're good with the Arclights and the Pyromancers. Just like, Lightning Bolt's one of the better cards in Modern in general.
I do like Fatal Push now because of the rise of Thing in the Ice, but this deck already has that covered.
Yeah, with four trophies.
And the need to play your spells proactively is really
very
important.
And, like, Trophy's even a good choice for that, too, because, like, you can even just, like, Trophy random lands if you need to cast a spell.
They have no targets or trophy, you're probably winning anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Yep, this game is locked up. We'll figure it out. Yeah, just, like, the rate at which you play Magic on Arena is so absurd. Like, Magic Online plays Magic faster than Paper Magic does, and, like, Arena is just, like, so fast. Joyous Potato, thank you for the 11 months. Welcome back.
That's a great name.
Well, this hand would be really good if it had a Faithless Looting, but it just doesn't really do anything other. I guess I've got 2 removal spells. I'm on the play, though. A hand it just doesn't really accomplish anything. This hand's great. Gosh, could you imagine if this card lets you discard non-lands? If you could just, like, discard your Arclights to your retrace? That would be real busted.
I don't like that, Jeff. Somebody mentioned, what would the blue-red deck look like if you had Taxi Probe?
Right? Like,
Lost it.
I'm glad we got rid of that card a while ago.
Maybe turn 1 double Phoenixing people.
Yes. Wee McGee, thank you for the half a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Listen, you're gonna know that someone said something exceptionally erroneous when I managed to time them out using mobile. Crime in Stereo, thank you for the 7 months. Welcome back. Welcome everybody. Hope you're having a good Monday. Coming at you live from Roanoke, Virginia, from the apartment of the very gracious Ross Merriam. Super Jumpstart? Yeah, exactly.
It took me a second to understand you said gracious. First I thought you might have said racist, and I'm just like, just casually dropping that one in, okay?
Oh, Moss Rarium. I'm here with Moss Rarium this afternoon.
I've unleashed a monster. During a Versus Live episode, somebody started making puns on one of the person's names. I was on the side. They were doing it on either Brad or Todd, and I started encouraging them, and now they're just doing it for all of us all the time.
Tell Ross he's made it a long way from F&M at Reed's.
Reed's wasn't even the first store I F&M'd at. I go way further back than that, but thank you. Reed's was the first store I was F&M'ing at when I first queued for a Pro Tour, and when I started playing Magic full time. So that is a thing.
That was a little abrupt. Noble Hierarch, Abrupt Decay.
You gotta get to Sam's comic book shop in Meriden, Connecticut. Unsanctioned Friday Night Magic. Sam would just make pods himself. He would tell you they were random, but there was always one bad pod filled with like the bad players to help them and encourage them, and then one pod filled with all good players.
Okay.
And I knew I was getting better when I started realizing I was in the good pod more often than, and no longer the bad pod. You played all 3 games of your match, and your game record is what got you out of your pod into the top 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a unique way to do it.
Yeah, it was fun. My dad was willing to pick me up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning because he worked 3rd shift, so he was awake.
That is a lot of modern legal Magic the Gathering cards.
It's a really awkward hand to Inquisition.
It is. Yeah, their poker hand is really good.
Okay. So going to be 3/4s? Is Sorcerer going to add something? Yeah, so they're going to be 4/5s.
Yep.
The usual suspects.
I think I'm supposed to take the Scavenging Ooze, so that card kind of turns my deck off, so that way I only have to draw 1 removal spell here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Like, obviously I'm going to need to draw more removal for the Tarmogoyfs, but I can, like, use my health total as a resource for a hot second, like, have Ravenscrime to make some more tokens at least.
I just hope they cast a Lingering Soul so we can Ravenscrime that.
Bron Sublagar, I guess this means I'm committed to Hoaglandia. Thank you for the 2 months, and it's the tier 2 level. I appreciate that. Be sure to drop me a message in private. Let me know which deck you'd like to bump this month for that.
Them drawing a land was bad. If they didn't draw a land, they might have Lingering Souls, just use their mana efficiently.
Yeah, now it's like...
Though, I guess we can get rid of the Ooze.
Oh yeah, I can just double crime them, right?
Yeah.
It's actually, like, kind of okay for me. I, like, have 4/5s that I'm, like, staring down the barrel of, but...
Yeah, you should draw, like, Maelstrom Pulse.
That's from the sideboard. That'd be pretty impressive to draw.
Engineered Explosives. Or...
I remember this was an open a long time ago, I'm watching one of my buddies play his match, and it's game 1, like, I had finished really fast, and he says to his opponent, well, my only out here is drawing the 3rd Ratchet Bomb out of my sideboard, and he untapped and drew, and it was a 3rd Ratchet Bomb, and he goes, well, good thing I was losing that game anyways, like... Like, oh, you idiot.
Heart of the cards. That's a powerful magician.
The Judgeinator, Snow are not happy to see you streaming. Thanks for the great content. Thanks for the 17 months, Judgeinator. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah. Yeah, the hair's real thin, so when it gets long, it looks real bad. So we keep it a little bit trim. I think I'm going to take a hit from one of these and chump the other for now. Generally speaking, you want to start chumping before you need to, so that way it doesn't give your opponent a chance to, like, rip a bunch of removal spells and kill you. So ideally, you want to draw things like Fatal Push and stuff like that here, but they're also going to be flashing back their own Lingering Souls. Untapped Land even isn't that terrible of a draw, because it, like, lets the bird hold the spirits back in the air. Temple of Tilt.
Yeah.
Do.
Tapland is pretty horrible draw, though.
The tapped land is arguably the worst draw in the deck.
It's the only one left, right? Because you had the Ravine already?
There might be two Ravines. There might be 2 Ravines. There's only 2 or 3. 2 Ravines, yep. So we had two tap lands. Sir, Modern is a grindy format that is about card advantage.
See, I wanted to replace one. I want to replace one of the Raging Ravines with a Sheltered Thicket, so we can loam. Get our loam done.
All right. You think we're dead, chap? And this, I kind of feel like this game is like a good example of like some of the shortcomings of what this deck is doing, because like the idea of like having Loam and Ravenscrime in your deck is supposed to be that you're like able to like grind better than what a lot of people are going to be doing, and like the fact that we're losing to a grindy deck means that like, well, our deck's slow and clunky, which means that we're going to get run over by people getting under us, which means if we're not locked up and like winning against these other mid-range decks a lot of the time, it's like, what's the real strength of what we're doing, right? Like, we're coming up short in like a lot of different ways. This deck looks like the worst of both worlds from Jund and Phoenix aggro decks. See, I think I kind of agree with that. And like looking at these games so far, we just like haven't had enough tools to really get the Phoenixes back. Even just like without that critical mass of cantrips and things like Manamorphose, the Phoenixes are just like very difficult to flip back into play.
Manamorphose wouldn't even be bad in this deck. You have so many colors.
That's true. Yeah, like helps you cast Lingering Souls on occasion.
It's the best card, is it, Phoenix? It's just hard to do when you're a Fatal City deck.
Yeah.
But Manamorphose. Every time I draw that card.
So this is like a rock style mirror match. I think I want to trim the discard spells. The Ravenscrime is probably pretty bad, actually. But then, like, you know, there's the point, like, if I'm cutting the Ravenscrime, like, I really don't have enough spells to, like, bring these Phoenixes back into play here. What's going on, Minanop? Welcome to a live one. That is the disembodied voice of Ross Merriam. Listen, the Dobby Decay is great. Stop hating on the Dobby Decay.
What is that art from?
That is the RPTQ promo, I think.
There was an RPTQ promo of Reptica?
I think I don't know. I don't play Magic tournaments.
Yeah.
I think it's from some event like that.
10 years ago, I used to know all this shit. Now there's just too much of it.
WMCQ promo.
Oh, okay.
Is there a barbecue promo and maybe a sour cream and onion promo as well?
Salt and vinegar promo.
Salt and vinegar promo. That sounds like the best.
Yeah, that sounds good. Appropriate for Magic.
True words. Yeah, like, so this game's actually going to be a perfect test, right? Like, I'm going to cast Faithless Looting on one, and I'm going to ditch this Arclight Phoenix and this Lingering Souls, and, like, am I ever going to be able to put this Arclight Phoenix back into play this game? I'm willing to bet that the answer to that question is no. I'm going to grab Blood Crypt here so we can guaranteed cast Inquisition next turn in case we brick on a second land. Let's go ahead, Cyrus. That's fine. There's a reason why we put all this stuff on YouTube, right? For people that are normally just Twitch watchers, you should be aware that I've started doing some YouTube exclusive content. So there were 4 leagues that I recorded from my hotel room yesterday that are up on YouTube that were not streamed live. So if you're hungry for more Hogland Modern content after I get done today, you'll find that on my YouTube channel. Perfect. Just like we drew it up. Incredibly lucky. Modern is a turn 4 grinding format that Stoneforge would crack in half. Exactly. God bless someone that actually understands Modern.
Is that a Maelstrom Pulse?
It is. At least their hand is poop. They've got lands and 2 removal spells, and I have 2 discard spells. And you know what they say, chat? Screw beats Flood, so let's draw some lands.
I wouldn't spew off too many of these cheap spells, though. You gotta recur that Phoenix.
Yeah, for sure, Turkin. Can you submit it through the Google form? Just link to whichever specific list you want, Turkin.
If you're not under any pressure, there's no reason to fire off the Inquisition on the path too early.
That's true, because we could, wait and, find to get the Phoenix back.
Yeah. Yeah, on second land, if you're not under any pressure, I just want to flat deck Souls.
Yep. They took my toy away. I liked my toy opponent.
Yeah, definitely never recur this Phoenix.
Yeah, I don't think so, right? We just, don't have enough 1-mana spells.
And the 1-mana spells you do have are ones you want to cast early. That's the other thing.
Modern is the most forgiving format. Do you think KCI will get the Banhammer? I think if Wizards of the Coast wants new people to play Modern, they will ban KCI, and if they want the format to just continue to exist with the people who already play it, they'll leave it alone, which means they're pretty likely to just leave it alone. You're fine, Wessels. I just think, without having some cantrips in your deck, basically, or 1 mana or free spells, it's Arclight Phoenix is an incredibly fair card when Manamorphose and Gutshot aren't involved, right? That's why that card was designed with in mind, right? Was non-Manamorphose, non-Gutshot things. And the thing that pushes Phoenix towards being a modern playable or even busted card is the fact that you have those free spells to accelerate it.
The curve of this deck is pretty close to the standard Izzet deck. And that deck is starting to cut Phoenix because it's just not great at recurring in it.
Yep. Yeah, it's just playing Murmuring Mystic and stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh, and now Izzet lists are just 8 Drakes, 2 Niv Mizzets, and a bunch of main deck dive downs and pierces.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Protect the Queen.
How did you finish out over the weekend?
12-4, 16th.
Okay. It's respectable.
Yeah, it was 2-3, so.
Okay, yeah, that's a great finish.
Pretty good from there, yeah. I 7-1 standard Boros aggro. That is really good.
Yep. Were you playing the Heroic Reinforcement build or the Johnny Primate?
Very close to Ellen Bogan's list.
Okay.
Snowborns. I've never seen a deck with that low of a curve have that high of an individual card quality.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good way to compare it, right?
History of Benalia, Vanillish Marshall, 8 2-1s with upside.
Did you see Forsyth's tweet that History originally gave +2/+2?
Really high impact sideboard cards too. That super impressive. I felt like I got unlucky in the match I lost, but also got very lucky to beat BBD.
Alright, well that's a freebie. I feel like I'm going to need green mana to win, so I'm going to ditch this bridge, because if I hit green mana, I'm not going to need the bridge to win the game. Also, I'm not going to have my hand empty anytime soon.
Yeah. Classic 7 mana, 4 cards in hand. Time to fire up a Shaman.
Time to fire. To be fair, they don't have that many spells, right?
I don't know how long it's been. Turned around.
Yeah, Elves is great. Elves actually top-aided the Grand Prix in Portland. It was the main deck was 3 or 4 cards off of the main deck I've been playing. Or it was 5 cards. They put all the lead, the Stampede to the main, and they boarded the Scavenging Oozes, which is what some of my earlier builds had done.
I've come to be lower and lower and lead the Stampede.
Yeah, I ended up splitting them. It's just and so much of Modern is not about grinding that you just can't afford to draw that card too often.
Yeah, spend 3 mana to not affect the board in any way.
The disembodied voice in the background is Ross Merriam.
Playing 4 Elves of Deep Shadow is very smart, though.
Yeah, I just, like, cut the bad cards, basically. Just, like... The person that top 8'd the Grand Prix cut one of the green sources and added a Westvale Abbey to the deck. I was just like, that's so incredibly greedy. You just, like, already have so many hands you mulligan without lands on them.
Yeah, I used to not like any colorless land, but I think that Nykthos is good in green-white. Because Selesnya Hells is just an Azuri combo deck.
Okay, yeah.
But Golgari Hells is just an aggro deck.
Yes, correct. So it's a good aggro deck instead of a medium combo deck.
Yeah. I was always favored on the Selesnya side of things, but I don't know how Clan Caller changed that. Because it's definitely way better in Golgari than it would be in Selesnya.
Yep.
It wouldn't even make the cut in the Selesnya deck because they have Voodoo Druid already.
So I'm using, in addition to having just a cheap microphone for my mobile setup, I have to... Alright, Ross, come sit on the couch. That's the solution. I'm going to slide over. It'll get you closer to the microphone, too. Look at that. That's perfect. Alright, I think... How's the webcam frame? Look at that. There's Ross's beautiful face.
Hello.
I'm glad. I almost didn't bring my laptop with me this weekend. I'm really glad that I did, since I was stuck in the hotel room all day yesterday. Now we get to stream today.
We have so many cards. We can't cast any of them.
One green source, please. Even just like a non-green source would let me flashback Faithless Leading. Get real snuggly. This is the MTG fanfic content I've been writing about.
Hold on.
Oh, we have a blanket. Look at that.
If only I had some cocoa.
If only I had some cocoa.
I did not look at the weather and did not do any grocery shopping in advance of SCG Con.
Has there ever been a more appropriate use of the Rainbow Kappa? Did I get snowed in or what? So yesterday I was stuck in my hotel room rather than playing Magic because most of Roanoke was snowed in. And then I was always planning to be in Roanoke today because it was like $300 cheaper to fly out on Tuesday rather than fly out today or try and fly out last night. I'm dreaming of a green land now. Do 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 do. The real question is, which of you is Baby Drake and which is Mama Drake? That's all right. Well, if we weren't dead before, excellent. All right.
We get to discard it to hand size.
All right. You know what? Let's play the blue-red deck. All right. So, just, concise wrap-up-y thoughts on what we have going on here. Just like, we often talk about, like, looking at the curve of decks and, like, what they're doing. And just, like, this deck is just too fair for what Modern has going on. And without, like, a critical mass of cantrips or free spells, this deck just, like, doesn't really have enough going on to, like, flip the Arclight Phoenix back into place. Like, there's no Gutshot, there's no Manamorphose, so basically, this deck just makes Arclight Phoenix too fair for what Modern's trying to do effectively. Alright, so what are we doing next? Let me put my splash up here for a hot